Hey guys, today I was in 1 Corinthians chapter 3. My husband and I were sitting there and it just like really stood out to me. I was like, babe, like, can you listen for a minute because this is really good. So I just want to read what God was revealing to me, and I just pray that it is, something that can speak to you as well. Chapter 3, and the first part will be verses 5 through 15, and the second part will be verses 18 through 23. So I'm going to read 5 through 15. After all, who is Apollos? Who is Paul? We are only God's servants through whom you believed the good news. Each of us did the work the Lord gave us. I planted the seed in your hearts and Apollos watered it, but it was God who made it grow. It's not important who does the planting or who does the watering. What's important is that God makes the seed grow. The one who plants and the one who waters work together with the same purpose, and both will be rewarded for their own hard work. For we are both God's workers, and you are God's field, you are God's building. Because of God's grace to me, I have laid the foundation like an expert builder. Now others are building on it. But whoever is building on this foundation must be very careful, for no one can lay any foundation other than the one we already have, Jesus Christ. Anyone who builds on that foundation may use a variety of materials: gold, silver, jewels, wood, hay, or straw. But on the judgment day, fire will reveal what kind of work each builder has done. The fire will show if a person's work has any value. If the work survives, that builder will receive a reward. But if the work is burned up, the builder will suffer a great loss. The builder will be saved, but like someone barely escaping through a wall of flames. When I read this, it was really a beautiful, just like imagery, just really captivated me. So we're going to read verses 5 through 7. We're just going to kind of break down each little segment. Okay, how it did it for me. Also, I just want you to know I have prayed a crap ton, and I've prayed that God will speak through me, and I'm just letting you know I'm goofy as heck, so you're probably going to see that a few times, but just know that I prayed before this. So, verses 5 through 7. After all, who is Apollos? Who is Paul? We are only God's servants. So Paul is writing this, and he's saying, who are we? Like, we're just God's servants. He lets us do this. This is crazy that we get to do it, but like, he lets us do this. So here we are. We're going to rock and roll because the God of the universe said it's cool. We're only God's servants through whom you believe the good news. Each of us did the work the Lord gave us. I planted the seed in your hearts, and Apollos watered it, but it was God who made it grow. It's not important who does the planting or who does the watering. What's important is that God makes the seed grow. So he says this twice in the same little snippet. I love it. He says, it is God who makes the seed grow. I know as a Christian, I would tell people about Christ. I would tell people about what he's done in my life, like big, big things. And then when people would be like, what? And they wouldn't believe who God was, I would get butthurt. I'm like, dude, I just poured out my heart to you, telling you what Jesus did in my life, and you're gonna tell me like you don't believe in him? But it's not that. That's just it. Like, that's me relying on what I think is my power. I don't have any power. It is between them and God. All I can do is be the worker. And through verses 5 through 15, you see a lot of emphasis on worker. And I really appreciate that, because it really is just that. Like, we're God's workers. That is what we are here for. So if God can use us, awesome. But if we're only planting a seed and we don't get to see the fruit from it, you know what? We planted the seed. We did what God called us to do. Even Paul, you know, and Apollos did that. Like, they did what God told them to do, and it doesn't always mean that they saw the fruition from that. So it's okay. Like, it is between them and God, and it is beautiful to know that God doesn't put that pressure on us. Verses 8 through 9. The one who plants and the one who waters work together with the same purpose, and both will be rewarded for their own hard work. For we are both God's workers, and you are God's field, and you are God's building. That is beautiful. Paul is saying not one part is more important than the other. Him and Apollos go back to, the previous verses where he says that he planted the seed, Apollos watered the seed, but at the end of the day, it's God who grows the seed. We're all working together. If you are a Christ follower, you are working together with your brothers and sisters in Christ, whether you be planting the seed or watering the seed, in order to work the field. So we are workers. God keeps saying that. He says we are workers, right? But we're also the field. Don't forget that part. That's really key, because a lot of times what happens is, and it wasn't, I actually didn't even, this was the captivating part for me this morning. Again, remember I told you I was going to be a little bit weird sometimes. This is where we're at. Anyway, this is the part that like really got me this morning. Was it says that we are both God's workers, we are his field, and we are his building. So we have to work, right? We have to plant the seed, we have to water the seed, whether it's you water the seed after I planted it, or I water it after you planted it, or however it goes, whatever God is calling us to do, we are to be the workers. But it also says we're to be the field. What does that look like? Like, if we're the workers planting seeds, watering seeds, how can we also be the field too? But remember back, it says that God makes the seed grow. So there had to be a seed in our heart, right? And Jesus talks about the seed. He talks about, the seed that's scattered on the ground, birds come, swoop in, pick it up, take it, or the seed that's planted in fertile soil and it grows wonderfully, or the seed that's, covered by weeds and all that and not really taken care of. Our hearts are also the field. We have to remember that. So we are the workers. Yes, we are also the field. So when God says we're the field, that means that he has to be able to grow. We have to be fertile soil, good. Our relationship has to be a good place to grow. Meaning we got to be in the Bible. We got to be willing to have ears to listen. We have to be willing to be humble and know that we're really not good enough. Like, we're just not. We're here to serve God. We are not good enough to serve God, but yet he uses us from his grace and mercy anyway. And we're God's building. So he uses our body as a temple, right? We are a vessel for him to use to show other people the love that he has for them. Man, you want to talk about humbling. Like, that's breathtaking. It really is. God is willing to use us, these imperfect people, to work for him, to have a relationship with him, and to be the vessel that he can use to bring other people to him. When we think of a building, we think of, especially whenever we're, followers of Christ, a lot of times we think of the building as like, as the place that we go to worship God. But really, like, God is using our bodies as vessels. Verses 10 through 11. Because of God's grace to me, I have laid the foundation like an expert builder. Now others are building on it. But whoever is building on this foundation must be very careful. For no one can lay any foundation other than the one we already have, Jesus Christ. Gosh, like, when Paul is saying this, he's saying, listen, like, there is no other foundation that you can possibly use to build a relationship with God aside from Jesus Christ. An expert builder, think about an expert. How about you hire me to build your home? No. Let me just say no. Okay. I can put up walls and stuff, but you do not want to pay me to build your home. Your your family would not. They would suffer terribly. You'd be upset. Your insurance wouldn't pay for anything that fell apart. But Paul says, I have laid the foundation like an expert builder, not because of what he does, but because of God's grace to me. That is beautiful, Paul, the words you are speaking right now. So great, because it is not anything that we have done. There is nothing we can say that will, again, let's go back, that will grow the seed. It is only what God can do. And God gives us the wisdom to build on the foundation that is Jesus Christ. There is nothing that can make that foundation better, nothing that can make that foundation stronger. It is solid foundation. Verses 12 through 15. Anyone who builds on that foundation may use a variety of materials: gold, silver, jewels, wood, hay, or straw. But on the judgment day, fire will reveal what kind of work each builder has done. The fire will show if a person's work has any value. If the work survives, that builder will receive a reward. But if the work is burned up, the builder will suffer great loss. The builder will be saved, but like someone barely escaping through a wall of flames. Again, dude, this chapter really hit me. It starts off by saying anyone who builds on that foundation may use a variety of materials: gold, silver, jewels, wood, hay, or straw. So when I'm reading this, I'm like, okay. And then I read about the fire and I'm like, dang. It's like the three little pigs, and the wolf comes and blows the houses down. And what was the moral of the story is the pig in the brick house. All the other pigs went to the brick house, right? Because that was the pig that was willing to put in the work, that was willing to make sure what their work was valuable. But I like what it says. So when we go further, right, it says the builder will be saved. Right? So it's saying if the work survives, that builder will receive a reward. But if the work is burned up, the builder will suffer great loss. It doesn't say that they die. It just says they'll suffer great loss, but the builder will be saved. He provides the materials. We don't even have to find the materials. He provides the materials. But what I really like about this, okay, so he's saying, okay, if you want to build it with hay, go ahead. I'm not even going to stop you, because my grace already covers you. Yeah, I really, really want you to do the best work you can in my name. I really want that. But I tell you what, I'm still going to save your butt, whether you do it halfway or you do it all the way. Because I love you. Because I have grace for you. Because I have mercy for you. Because I want you in my kingdom. If we know Jesus, if that is our foundation, if we know Jesus, no matter what, we are saved. But just like any other relationship that you have here on earth, what you put into it is what you get out of it, right? But you're talking about with the perfect Father. So even more so, what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it, because God already gave you all. He has provided you with all of those materials. He's already given everything. He's given his son. He has given all the materials you need to build on his son's foundation, right? The rest is up to you. So you can live your life however you want to do it. Are you going to live like someone barely escaping through a wall of flames? Or are you going to live using those rich materials God gives you. Are you going to be rich soil for God to grow that seed in you? That, man, dude, that is, God, thank you for giving me these thoughts this morning. 1 Corinthians 3:18-23 says, stop deceiving yourselves. If you think you are wise by this world's standards, you need to become a fool to truly be wise. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness to God, as the scriptures say. He traps the wise in the snare of his own cleverness. And again, the Lord knows the thoughts of the wise. He knows they are worthless. So don't boast about following a particular human leader, for everything belongs to you. Whether Paul or Apollos or Peter or the world or life and death or the present and the future, everything belongs to you. And you belong to Christ, and Christ belongs to God. So what this means is, rather than following all of those news feeds that the world constantly has in front of our faces, follow the good news feed. Like the Bible, it is all the positive things you need to build your house out of the materials God gives you, rather than hay. Which is ironic because my husband is playing the farm simulator game as we speak. For real though, he gives us what we need to live prosperous lives, both here and in heaven, where the world only gives us what we need to live prosperously, ish, here. So I hope you took something away from what I took this morning. God is so good, and his word is just so holy. It really is. And it is life-changing. Love you guys, and I pray that you have a wonderful day. In Jesus' name, amen.